Welcome to the introduction video to the Junior Genius Math Elevator. Jump on in, kids. This elevator's going up. So you may be wondering, what the heck is the Junior Genius Math Elevator? Hopefully this short video introduction will go over and give you all the answers to the questions that you are looking for. First things first, on ACT, there are 60 questions that need to be answered in 60 minutes. There are multiple things that we need to do as test takers and as test preppers. We need to, first of all, make sure that the kids understand the concepts that are going to be tested on the test. That means we need to do a review of grades 1 through 11. That is a ton of information, and for some students, it is quite overwhelming. So instead of just giving a kid an ACT test and doing the ACT test, we break it down into manageable chunks. This is what we call structure, or the 3-level system. The elevator is ground level 1, which is questions 1 through 20. Now keep in mind that on the ACT math section, we start out very easy, and we progressively get more difficult as we get closer and closer towards problem 60. The ground level is going to be the easiest section. That's why we call it the ground level. The mezzanine level will be questions 21 through 40, and they start picking up speed and getting into some concepts that are a little bit more difficult. In the last grouping, the rooftop penthouse, 41 through 60, these are the most difficult questions on the test. So instead of having the kids try and work on everything, what we do is we try and master each floor one step at a time. Now let's take a look at the breakdown for the way it's all structured again. The outline. We have 25 tests. That means there's 5 tests per floor. And what a kid will do is a kid will come in and we will start out in the ground floor. This is awesome for me as a test prepper because I can see where the basic skills are. Now, I had a student come in who was taking advanced mathematics, but it seemed that when he was correcting his answer choices, he was missing the majority of his questions 1 through 20. How can that be? Well, first of all, a kid like that probably hasn't had this kind of math since maybe 4th grade, so it's all about review. Second of all, we noticed that this kid was going extremely fast because this kid thought that those problems were quite easy. That means they were making simple mistakes. So we have a system. Once we understand you are a fast, sloppy test taker, we do something called the RCR method. The RCR method is so secret that I had to delete that section there. The RCR method will be gone over in class with the students or at the parents' meeting. Let's go over the process of how we will start with the elevator. Of course, we'll start with the ground floor. Now remember, the ground floor are problems 1 through 20, which are the easiest on the test. In order to pass from the ground floor to the mezzanine level, students, when they take 3 tests total of 20, those are very easy problems. That's going to give us a total of 60 opportunities to see if a student A needs to review or if a student B is sloppy. In order to pass from the ground level to the mezzanine level, we need to get a score of 34 or above. That gives students 6 chances to make wrong, simple mistakes. Anything more than 6 mistakes out of the 3 tests, they'll have to take a 4th exam, and at that point, they will have to score 90% on that test in order to go into the next level. And so forth. We go into the mezzanine level, we take 3 tests of 20, and the same process. Once we get through the ground and the mezzanine level, this is basic information that's easy. It's just a lot of review and it's a lot of work. We can start working on ACT questions that are the most difficult questions. That's 40 questions. Now keep in mind, kids and parents, that 40 out of 60 on an ACT math section is actually quite good. So this is something to shoot for. Once again, the outline, 25 tests total for each level. We recommend students to take 3 tests. So if you are an excellent math student, we will have 9 math tests total to go through. If you need to do more, what will end up happening here is you can just do test 4, test 5, test 6, and test 7, and so forth. And finally, let's take a look at the third thing at the bottom here. Why? Why is the math elevator installed? Why do we use this? What's the logic behind this system here? There's 3 reasons real quick. Let's go over them. 1, management and not being overwhelmed. Like I said before, these 3 levels here, this is almost 12 years of math. It's grades 1 through 11, and there's some stuff that kids haven't had until their 12th grade year. For example, some of the trig and some of the circle stuff. So it's kind of wacky stuff. If we just throw kids in and start taking full tests, it can be overwhelming. Where do I start? I'm not really sure where to start. Do I start in the geometry or do I start in the algebra? Well, let's start with the easiest thing, build some confidence, and then let's move into the next thing that's medium, build some confidence. And now we've done a bunch of review on easy stuff. Let's go ahead and work on harder stuff. So it's not feeling overwhelmed just managing all this math. The second thing, as we mentioned before, is building confidence. When you go from level ground to the mezzanine level, you are going to put a check mark in your box, your math review sheet. Awesome. Let's move up to the next level. And finally, the third thing is know yourself as a test taker. As we mentioned earlier, if we have a kid who is very strong in the math, but they are missing questions in the ground or the mezzanine level, why? Because they are sloppy. That is awesome as a test taker. You know yourself now. So what do? We need systems to try and fix that. Be aware of the problem. Maybe use the RCR method and so forth. So know yourself as a test taker. That's it for the quick overview of the math elevator. This is something brand new for 2015. I've been demonstrating this in Asia while I've been teaching over here, and now the results have been so good, we're bringing it back to Minnesota.